What is up? Another week, another break-in, breakdown with your boy, Joshua Taylor, Z Roth, Zachary Roth, here with the analyst shirt on. How you doing, man?
I'm good. My cat just walked by. She's good too.
Nice, man. We got 3 topics, about 15 minutes. Let's break it down. What is the first topic? We got NFT flipping. What is this about? What's this culture? Break it down, baby.
It is pretty crazy out there. I have only partaken one time so far. I know there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of projects on multiple chains now, mainly Ethereum and Solana.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend, he has a friend who used to be he graduated college and immediately went into sneaker flipping. This is my friend's friend, and from there he went into kind of like fine art and collectibles. Like he would buy like what's his name? The Weeknd released a statue that was like $700, and he told my friend, "Hey, buy this statue. It's gonna be worth more." Blah blah blah. And my friend was like, "No, that's a stupid statue." And he's like, "Okay." And then that night he sold it for like 2,000, and he bought multiple. And so then from that point on, my friend was just like, "Okay, maybe I'll listen to him."
Yeah.
And so the next thing he said was buy an Aurora NFT on Solana, and that was basically like. I don't know what the mint price was, but you had to pay like maybe 1 or 2 Solana to mint it, and right now the floor is like 18 Solana. So he made like $2,000 on his first little flip that he didn't even know what he was doing. He just followed the instructions of his friend.
Yeah.
And so he kind of did that to me. He kind of like led me into this little the Red Panda Squad. You might have heard of them. They're on Solana too.
Yeah.
So I looked at it more as like a anthropological experiment more so than an investment or a side hustle or something. But I looked at the Discord. I was involved for like the week leading up to it. People were so hyped. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it comes out and it flops, and immediately people are selling to losses, and everyone's getting mad. And it's just like this tirade of angry comments. It was like everybody was all hyped until the drop, and then it was just like I don't know. People were mad they lost like $100 or something, or maybe more if they bought multiple. But I don't know. It's like this the same perspective of like being a sneaker flipper or a weekend statue flipper. Like it's the same thing with a lot of these NFT things. Like they act as if they have this roadmap in the future metaverse. They're all going to be like hanging out as their avatars or something. It's a cash grab. The 5 devs made. Let's see. They had 10,000 units. I'm pretty sure of the red pandas. Yeah. Each one was a 2.5 Solana mint price.
Yeah.
What is that? Like 5,000 Solana? Like
that's almost $1 million.
So
each person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like 3.5 million total for 5 people.
Yeah.
And it was literally it sold out in 10 minutes, and then everybody sold to a loss.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll go back up. I still own it. It's listed at 10 sold. If you want to buy it, it's up there.
So what for like NFT flipping, right? Do you think it's similar to these other cultures of flipping these like sneaker assets or these like other goods, other collectibles? And then what would you advise someone who has never bought an NFT yet and is hearing about this like you did?
Yeah, I would advise you not to look at it like this. Like I was looking at it as an experiment just because my friend, like that's how he and thousands of other people are doing this. Like there's a lot of these things where they're inviting you to these Discord groups, and the only way you can get accepted into the pre-list, like the whitelist pre-sale sort of thing, which means like you can either get it at a discounted price or for free, the NFT before it drops or when it drops. It just depends. It's all different. But so like the idea of that, a lot of it is like you need to have 3 invites in order to be able to do that. And so that just creates this like Ponzi mechanism that's just spreading.
Yeah.
And so you'll see like these Discord servers, they'll go from like 500 people to 25,000 in a few weeks, like leading up to the drop.
Yeah.
And then it's just like dead. Nothing happens.
That's,
or like occasionally it does though. And occasionally things blow up, like the geckos on Solana or lots of things on Ethereum.
That's a whole episode in itself. I have a lot of questions, but we can move on to the next topic. Ding, ding, ding. Taproot What the heck is a taproot?
Well, Taproot
Like a beer
is
or something.
yeah, it's like IPA or something, but
Yeah, no, right?
it's just the upgrade for the Lightning Network that's coming up,
Hmm.
and it's been in the works since I think like 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
But I won't get into details because there's basically like three proposals, BIPs, like Bitcoin something improvement proposals.
Hmm.
Um, and they each have their own like little technical specification. And what they do is just think of it as they anonymize transactions more so than they are right now.
Hmm.
So like if you have a smart contract operating on the Lightning Network or on Bitcoin, then that transaction will look the same as a regular like simple token swap.
Yeah.
And so reduces the amount of data that needs to be imprinted on the blockchain,
Hmm.
and it also just reduces the amount of fees because it reduces the amount of data.
Yeah.
So, but where I'm going with this is it's going to be enabling all sorts of new things that were not possible on Bitcoin before because of just the lack of scalability and the high fee structure.
Hmm.
I don't want to get you too hyped, but I'm kind of seeing a little bit of DeFi like burgeoning on the Bitcoin horizon.
Yeah.
It's already
Wow.
there to an extent, but it's like
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
been repressed for whatever reason. And there's
Yeah.
this Lightning Taproot upgrade, I think, will really help
Yeah.
enable a lot more.
Yeah. I think like because they were taking so long, like, and because the Bitcoin network is so much slower than Ethereum's move fast and break things, that people were starting to doubt Bitcoin's real scalability to be a true protocol, and more of a store of value. But as Lightning Network has upgraded with the Taproot, which is just a root within their protocol to allow for more, like you said, more faster delivery, faster movement, but also more application build and tools development. Like it can really be something. And I think that is the key when building a protocol. It's like you can't just mess this up, right? Like it has to work.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with it. Like it takes a long time
Yeah.
for like consensus to be met in terms of what the upgrade is or what they should do.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting too with Bitcoin, like when Satoshi first released the white paper, he wasn't thinking about this digital gold narrative.
Mm-hmm.
He
No.
was he was thinking about peer-to-peer transactions.
Yeah.
That's like the whole crux of the Bitcoin white paper,
Mm-hmm.
which I recommend everybody read.
Please read. Please.
Please.
That's the foundation of of what we're even talking about today in Web3 and all this other stuff. And speaking of Satoshi, huge upgrades on for Bitcoin, which is Twitter tipping. We could get into that. I know, Jack Dorsey, a founder of Twitter, and Jack Mahler, which is the founder of the Lightning Network, has done a partnership where they're labeling Lightning, which is a Web3 solution, which is allowing for you to tip people on Twitter with Bitcoin. So instead of tipping, you could tip on Twitter already with that token, which I've done that before. But now, if you have, I know everyone doesn't have it, but basically you could literally, like, if you want to tip and you have Lightning app, it's basically an APN plug-in where you could, just tip someone based off of a tweet you like, just like, they had before with BAT. But it's basically like, I would say, a partnership in a sense.
Well, I think there's that aspect to it, but there's also just the concept that you can attach a non-custodial wallet that holds your Bitcoin to your Twitter account.
Yeah.
So Twitter is not holding your Bitcoin, but you're still in totally control of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needs to be necessarily a tip. Like it will work for tipping, but I think if I wanted to just send you money, I can do that.
Yeah. It's literally, you're just attaching your wallet to your Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. So like basically being able to, I see the bigger implications as being able to bring your Lightning wallet across different platforms, right? Just like you can have your wallet on like on Brave browser, you could put your different wallets on there, like crypto.com or you can use your MetaMask wallet
Yeah.
across different browsers. I see the same thing. Like that's what the wallet race is about. Is like you having a digital wallet to be able to transact across these different interfaces and different websites.
Yeah, and eventually, like there's not NFTs on Bitcoin, but like I think they're going to be able to, like you'll be able to attach your Ethereum wallet, for example, and you will be able to see the NFTs owned by certain Twitter accounts, like Cosmo de Medici, and aka Snoop Dogg, his $17 million NFT portfolio.
Yeah.
You could have that right on his Twitter, where you could just click his Twitter page and then you click on like the NFT drop down menu and it shows his whole portfolio of whatever he has, or AC or Suzu, whoever. So yeah, also that's like the more first world way of looking at it. I think you can think of the remittance payments that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
As well here, where the people coming from other countries to like the U.S., for example, and then they work here and they send money back home to their family. To do that, you need Wells Fargo, Western Union. Like you need these centralized big banks that are only open from X a.m. till X p.m. and
not on the weekends.
Not on the weekends. They only if they don't like you, they're going to cancel your transaction or this or that. Like all sorts of things. Like if you're an immigrant, you have so much more to deal with. And you don't want to just like spend 1 month of your 12 months worth of wages just to send the money back to your family. That's basically what the case is. I think I read somewhere that it was like 1 month of wages is basically like the amount of money in fees that are paid throughout the year.
That's crazy.
At that level of
That's
income.
a big deal. Yeah,
it's a huge deal. And with Lightning Network, you can get like 0 to like 0.001 cent transactions and things. So like imagine just like you get your paycheck, you immediately like deposit it into your wallet, and then you just send it to your brother, your mom, or your wife, back at home like immediately through Twitter.
Yeah, that's crazy. How do you think banks are going to try to get involved?
I don't know. I think they're scared. Like they're always fighting back. They're either going to adopt it or die. I don't think they have many other alternatives, but I don't know. I hate to say adopt or die because I don't necessarily mean that. I think you can coexist as a bank in a Web3 world, but you're just not going to be the same. Like you're not going to have the same magnitude of impact and power like you used to.
Last question. Like I think we always want to focus on like the big banking cartel, like the too big to fail banks across the world. Like, what about your community bank, right? That's like has $1 billion or less in assets, or like less than 10 billion. Your regional banks, right? They have different problems that they're trying to solve, right? And they're more community or regional focused. So like, how are they going to adapt with less resources to technologically improve? When they're just trying to expand their reach, or they're trying to just like stay afloat, they still have to they're doing a lot of stuff and like super antiquated Web 1 and Web 2. Now you're saying they have to like become have these digital wallets and like have custodians for crypto. How are they going to survive? Because if that happens, then will more people get Wells Fargo's accounts because Wells Fargo could more easily get to Web 3?
That's a good question. I think like Wells Fargo and things, like if you want to start working with them, they're never going to decentralize. So at all times, they want to be in control. Like they've been in control for over 100 years. Wells Fargo in particular. I mean, they came through with the gold rush, and you won't be able to get away from that. And if they can censor you if they want. Like we don't live in an authoritarian society, but China does. It's not unrealistic for it to happen elsewhere. Like it's just people call us kind of like tin hats when we talk like this, but it's really not that unbelievable.
It's not far removed for anyone. And I think also it's like if it's JP Morgan or Citi or anyone, like they're a public company, but they're a private institution, so they could do what they want. Just like Facebook, their community, they have their guidelines. So right, if they kick you off the platform, it's because you're under their community guidelines, right? So just like a bank, you're a customer, but you're under their guidelines. You're in their world, right? So
I've been thinking about it from this is a little off topic, I guess, but like in the cannabis industry, for a long time in California and Colorado, it was legal, like 15 years ago, let's say, and
yeah,
the feds at any point in time could just come in, take all your money, take all your inventory, put you in jail, even though it's legal in your state.
yeah,
But it's like that's why you're not allowed to pay with a credit card. It's because the feds don't. It's not federally legal, so banks don't
yeah,
want to like breach any federal law
yeah,
by involving themselves in cannabis companies. So it just
yeah,
creates this like not a black market, but like a weird, almost a gray market where like
yeah,
you have people walking from, let's say you're in San Francisco and you have like legalized marijuana, and then they make a lot of revenue in a day. What are they gonna, they're not getting paid in credit or
mhm,
like payables. They're getting
yeah,
paid in cash most of the time. And they have
yeah,
to bring that physically to a bank. That's just, I mean, this is like has been talked about for years and years, but it's like I think about that in terms of like power and control and how these
yeah,
intermediary things just get in the way of things and they
yeah,
really never let go of the power.
yeah. And just like you think about how many small businesses as we close, and think about just the future of, I think, digitization of everything. And as we break, what we're really breaking down here is like digitization of money. Like, and what COVID kind of really flash forward is like, there's how many businesses just in the United States, or whoever's watching this in your country, still operate in your in cash, right? Like probably a lot, right, of businesses are just individuals paying cash. And so it's like, I think in closing, we still have a little bit of ways to go before we become this like, well, futuristic Web3 world where like we're fully all, cashless and we just operate digitally. Because there's a lot of steps, but
Yeah, it's complicated, and there's also the time that is needed for the public to catch on to that. Like, you don't just need the technology, you need the public awareness
yeah,
of the technology and
and
how to use
buy-in.
it,
Yeah,
and yeah, capital to buy in and everything.
yeah,
Like I would say for everybody listening, rather than go and swap US dollar or the Canadian dollar or wherever you're at, like rather than swapping that for crypto, why don't you try to find a job to get paid in crypto?
mhm,
And that's I once I did that to myself, I really like realigned my entire perspective on investing um,
mhm,
and just like work in general, because they can be the same thing if you're getting paid in equity. And again, I think crypto is equity. If you're buying Bitcoin, you're buying into the network. You're
yeah,
like, it's not a company, obviously, it's not like a share, but you're buying a piece of the network the same
yeah,
way you would be buying a
both.
piece of a company with the
Yeah,
share.
yeah. It's
Like, I don't,
yeah, it's currency that's really ownership. It's both. It's equity that's immediately investable,
right,
right? You could spend it. You could buy into it and spend it immediately.
right.
Because
That's why I don't like exactly how El Salvador is going about this. Like, I don't want to pay in equity. I want to get paid in equity.
mm-hmm.
But I don't want to like buy coffee with this volatile,
Yeah,
equity that could go up or
yeah,
down. I don't like that's not the way to go about it. And it's also, I don't know, like the peer-to-peer thing we talked about, like that was the true purpose or intention of Bitcoin. But like as we've seen, it's just morphed into this digital gold narrative and store of value. So I don't
yeah,
know. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out, especially with the Taproot upgrades. Like
yeah,
maybe the people, because some people in Bitcoin don't even believe in the Lightning Network. They're against that.
yeah.
Um, so maybe like the Taproot will become its own, not a fork, not like Bitcoin Cash or anything, but like maybe, I don't know, just
More network, more DeFi, more decentralized financial networks to build more Bitcoin wallets, more opportunities. I think we're going to see NFTs get on the Bitcoin network, right?
yeah, that's sure.
And just like different ideas, because it is a protocol. You can build anything on a protocol.
Yeah.
Is it viable? We'll see. That's why we're here to break down the future. But this is episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, Follow my boy Z Roth. Follow me, and we'll keep on doing
BreakIN,
this.
we got all these things happening.
Yes, we're jumping in just like you guys. So see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace.
Thanks for listening.